What is going on, guys? My name is Engage Tutorials. Welcome back to another Advanced Warfare video. And continuing off from the last video, if you didn't see that, go ahead and check it out. The link is in the description. But it was all the weapons for Advanced Warfare. Now we're going to move on to all the perks and wildcards and stuff. And we'll see, once again, we'll see what kind of time frame we're at. So starting off with the perks. For a perk 1 slot, we get lightweight, which is to make you move faster, obviously. Low profile, which is invisible to UAVs, tracking rounds, and exo ping. Flak jacket, which is take less explosive damage. But I don't even know if this is needed in this game. The freaking grenades suck, in my opinion. I've been trying to use them, always get hit markers with them, never get a kill. So I don't even know if that's needed. And they're not using flak jacket. But moving on anyway is Overcharged, which increases the exo ability battery life and concusses nearby enemies with boost slams. And finally we got Danger Close, which is do more explosive and score streak damage. That's a new addition. I don't think they had score streak damage before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. Moving on to perk 2, we have Peripherals, which increases minimap coverage. Take out enemies without displaying their death location. Blind Eye, which is undetectable by tracking drones, explosive drones, and all score streaks except for the UAV. Cold-Blooded, which is immune to thermal target enhancer, threat grenade, and enemy call-outs. No name or reticle color change when targeted. Gung Ho, I don't know why they call it that. It's fire while sprinting, which is actually really helpful because you actually sprint with your gun out sometimes, so you can just shoot while you're sprinting. Along with that, you can do it while you're sliding as well. And finally, for perk 2 slot, we have Fast Hands, which is reload while sprinting, swap weapons, use exo abilities, and use exo launchers faster. Moving on to the perk 3 slots, we have Hardwired, which is immune to system hack, EMP, nano swarms, stun grenades, and scramblers. And score streaks remain vulnerable. Toughness, obviously that's returning with flinch less when shot. Blast Suppressor, invisible on minimap when performing exo moves, and Scavenger, start with extra ammo, extra magazines, and resupply bullet ammo from fallen enemies, so you actually start out with it as extra ammo. Finally, we have Hardline, which decreases the score streak cost by 100 points. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and get into the score streaks. So for score streaks, we have all these. Let's go ahead and take a rundown over them, which is first we have the Aerial Recon Drone. These are all the basic ones. Aerial Recon Drone, which is a small manually piloted drone capable of tagging enemies. UAV, self-explanatory. Aerial Assault Drone, or AAD, as you can see, which is a small manually piloted aerial drone with a high explosive charge that can be detonated on a command. Orbital Care Package, which is a care package from an orbit containing a random score streak that has a chance of being the map streak. Not sure what that means. Anyway, moving on. Remote Turret, which is a turret. Pretty self-explanatory. System Hack, which is in a cyber attack that disables enemy HUD, radar, and reticles. Pretty much an EMP. XS-1 Vulcan, which is a manual controlled burst of high power directed energy deployed from space. The Missile Strike, which is kind of like a Predator missile. Bombing Run, which is a manually targeted aerial bombing run. XS-1 Goliath. Yeah. A manually piloted suit of advanced armor with heavy weapons. A Warbird, which is a remotely piloted aerial attack vehicle. And finally, the biggest one of them all, Paladin, a manually controlled weapon system aboard an orbiting Paladin gunship. So, along with the score streaks, you can actually go out here once you select it and press Y. And from there, you get these upgrades for the score streaks themselves. So, for example, if we put on the UAV and press Y, we have speed, which increases the positioning update for the UAV. Extra points, assist points, so you get extra assist points when enemies kill them. Extra time, the UAV lasts longer. Scrambler, which obscures the enemy's minimap. Enemy Direction, which adds a facing arrow, kind of like the VSAT. And Threat Detection, which paints the enemies, so through a wall and stuff like that. Orbital, which moves the UAV into orbit where it cannot be shot down. And finally, Support, and its points earned towards the streak were retained throughout your death. So, pretty much, once you add, you can add up to 3, and once you add it, it increases it. So, before you would have to get 400 points to earn the score streak, but if you add on extra stuff like this, it increases it to 700 for the 300 one, plus you have smaller ones like plus 50. So now we have an 800 score streak right there instead of your original 400. So that's pretty neat. It would obviously take a very long time to go through all these, so I'm not going to do that. But it's just extra supports and stuff. It's like upgrades for your score streaks. So I'm not going to go through all because it'll be a long time, and I don't want the video to last too long for you guys. But next, let's go to Exo ability. We have the Exo shield, which is quickly deploy a portable shield attached to your arm. The overclock, which is gain a temporary speed boost. The Exo mute device, which is silence your footsteps. No dead silence this time, guys. It's just this temporary silence. Exo stim, which generates health beyond normal levels. I use this one quite a bit. Exo cloak, which makes you invisible for a short amount of time. Exo hover, you can hover in places for a short duration. Exo ping, show enemy exo movement and weapons fire in your HUD. And the trophy system, which destroys up to 2 enemy incoming projectiles. So those are those, and you pretty much use these with the right bumper, which is pretty cool. But moving on to your Exo launcher, you can actually have 2 depending on your points. But Exo launcher, you have frag grenade, stun grenade, variable grenade, and Semtex. Variable grenade is like stun, EMP, and smoke. You can cycle through those, so that's pretty cool. You also have a tracking drone, which is a piece of equipment that tracks and highlights enemy players. Threat grenade temporarily shows enemies through walls. EMP grenade, which is self-explanatory. Smoke grenade, once again self-explanatory. Explosive drone, proximity trigger drone that tracks enemies and explodes when near them. And finally, the spike drone, which is a lethal thrown drone that returns on command. Now, I've used the Semtex and frag. They're not very good. Like I said in my last video, all I get is hit markers with them. No kills, anything like that yet. And sometimes they're right next to the enemy, so I don't recommend them. I'm actually going to try out the stun grenades, see how they work. But anyway, moving on, let's go to our wild cards. These are returning from Black Ops 2. So you got Overkill, which is take a primary weapon in your secondary slot. Primary Gunfighter, take a third primary attachment. Same thing with Secondary Gunfighter. You can take a third one. Perk 1 Greed, second perk, and Perk 2 and Perk 3 Greed, same thing, second perk. And finally, the last 3 we have Tactician, which is take an Exo ability in your Exo launcher slot. Bombardier, which is take an Exo launcher and Exo ability slot, so they kind of reverse each other. And Streaker, take a 4th score streak, as you can see over here, number 4. But yeah, that's pretty much a quick rundown of your perks, score streaks, Exo ability, Exo launcher, and wild cards. A lot of information this year around in Call of Duty. But hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos, let me know in a comment below as well. And if you are still watching to the end, it's quite a long video, about 9 minutes almost now. So if you are still watching to the end, which I hope you are, leave a comment for special word of the day. And today's special word of the day is EXO. EXO. So put EXO in the comments below. And until next time, guys, I will see you in another video.